awesome evening listening to three great poets. Sharon Olds, who's a Pulitzer Award winner now, Terrence Haynes, and I forget the name of the first guy, but he was awesome too. I hadn't heard of him before. Galettes. There are fugitives who whisper to me in the eider-down mist of Fancy Gap, and I tingle with the ghosts of Virginia, spirits who are native specters who followed you from the Midwest in braids that I have brought with me to this pass, this refuge. I have traveled so many years to reach this place. The flesh-clean bones of our yesterdays have come together here, touched their talons to my shoulder, knowing that I will allow them to snare me in their grip, and I will not even try to run. Even blanketed in this fog, the Blue Ridge Mountains capture me, lock me up inside their enigmatic tone, the same, but differently than the way the autumn leaves held me hostage between the rolling hills of Wisconsin, tethered me to the shores of the Mississippi and Black Rivers when we were both young and oblivious. I am only minutes from you now in these mountains. In Wisconsin, I picked fall apples at Scheffelbein's in Holman, sliced them into wedges, drizzled them with caramel, and dolloped them with whipped cream. I picked strawberries in the spring and put them up freezer bag by freezer bag, while you, mid-state but decades away, created heartland master recipes, longed for Lake Wobegon and 100 acres of farmland. You knew that a breaking heart whistled its pain like the sound of a puppy's cry even then. Today, you will tell me that you were not familiar with the way the juice of a Wisconsin apple bursts in the mouth, or with the backward tip of a barber's chair at Lindy's on 3rd Street in La Crosse, and I knew nothing then of your antique prints and your wild parties before corporate America took us both in opposite directions away from the cities where we'd not yet met. The fog on this morning go-to-meeting drive along I-77 spells magic in the way it hovers over the summit, cloaks the mountain in its secrecy, drives me to move with careful step inside its secrets. Though even when we can see, we are blind, and I wonder if I should be afraid. On the other side of Fancy Gap, I find you in sneakers and a polo shirt. I find you here for the first time in Virginia among the ghosts beyond the fog. I spend the day watching you pulse like twilights, fireflies, and I am tethered again to the waters of the Mississippi and the Black Rivers, to farmlands, Wright's Taliesin, to your heartland. I am tethered to the vibration of rock and bluegrass, tethered to what we can find in the fog when we close our eyes and feel our way through, tethered to my inability to return to a place of oblivion. Now I'm going to do that one with both laptop out for a poem that I want to read that I didn't get printed out. Outside of a bar on West Street, Boston, Mass. You in sepia light, an image, the other side of plate glass, flat cap, gray scarf, backpack, hitched between your shoulder blades, click, 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 movement like animation, flashes in quick succession. This film, this was not film noir. The street, a wind tunnel, you, unruffled, cool, dark, thirsty. Jack, you're going to have to tell me because I totally will not know. Epigraph. Time does not change us, it just unfolds us. Max Frisch. I came to you on the wing folded, an origami crane. I have created 1,000 cranes from the one, fluttered the flock around you, then called them all back into one, and inside that one, time worked its magic until I lay open and white, waiting. Abeyant. It was a winter sky. I had been watching it for weeks weeks wondering why its cold breath exhaled sharply against my window pane, I ignored it. Never, I told you, never ignore a sign. Last week, when I rolled toward the window and came face to face with the icy sky, I knew why the biting air had haunted me. Last week, it sliced through the glass, reached its finger to my throat, and slit it in one easy stroke. I haven't been able to write since then. Words only come in a gurgle. I'm not certain if I'm writing now, but I see my fingers moving on the keyboard, their tips numb and slurring words that slide onto the page like you slid into my life, a bit clumsily, but with a solid imprint that has left me aching for spring. Yet all I have is the winter that had been foretold each morning for weeks, when I looked out my window just after dawn, never cognizant till then of the pain in the separation of leaves from a tree. Most people who know me know I'm not a winter person. And now that we're enjoying spring, I'm sticking in a few winter poems that I can happily say, hey, it's gone. Shades of winter. Even gray has its shadow. On an overcast winter day, the cold gathers beneath the pines and the wolf buries itself under drifts of snow. In the silence of the white hours, the black pall, the air cracks, exhalations freeze, and ice is the enemy. The animals recognize defeat and wait. Winter is not pretty in their wide eyes. They know that famine lurks and that blood red can be their savior. Near nightfall, and when the sky burns scarlet and orange, amethyst has been scattered on the wind, it is the belly that takes over. Irreverent time for Julie, who was the subject of my second book, and a woman I took care of with pancreatic cancer. In the picture, I am wearing a watch. It was May on Cape, the snow gone like you would be soon. You were still eating on Mother's Day, before diabetic shock shivered through your body, before I held the syringe to the light, tapping away deadly bubbles. No, split pea soup and advanced pancreatic cancer cannot mutually cohabitate within the digestive system. Naps came in half days now. Diapers, filled plastic grocery bags, hands spun round the clock, seconds evaporated. Dolly was right. From the kitchen, I watched while time melted over the furniture, stained it with so many yesterdays, and screaming, out damned spot, was never going to erase the singed mark of the decades dying. Tomorrow, tomorrow, and tomorrow, my evening mantra, my sorrowful mystery. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. You died in June, 7:45 a.m. I no longer, sorry, I no longer wear watches. I have a hard time with this and that. If anybody was with me at one of the uninvited things at Richmond. Okay. A moment's distraction. The table was covered in tapestry. The teacup set upon its bed was Russian, cobalt and gold like you. You bowed your head while I dropped tea leaves into the water. Wait, stir, wait. I thought about how the word balalaika meant that the instrument could talk, how I felt safe in this room, written within its music. When you looked at me over your black-rimmed glasses, philosophical and literary like a professor at his desk, even the brown leather buttons on your jacket spoke of novel expectations, and I lost myself in the volume of your eyes, wanted to play the enamored student, open you, study you, read you word for word, running my finger beneath your syntax, pausing at the exclamation points, circling each evocative thought, feeling the way every syllable left its tongue print on the page. But I had to pull myself back before my thumb reached to trace itself along the repose of your face, before I spilled the water in the cup, splaying the leaves across the table, prematurely filling the gap in the circle from present to future,